So, yesterday I was having a conversation with somebody about the gift of tongues, and I just wanted to come on here because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about the gift of tongues. So therefore, I thought I'd maybe clear it up from my understanding, and if my understanding isn't perfect of it, that's okay. And but we'll just put out what we know. So the conversation that I was having about the gift of tongues was they had asked somebody well before I was even born what how the gift of tongues worked and how to receive the gift of tongues, and the person gave them some really bad information about the gift of tongues. Basically, that you start doing like type of thing until you start to sound good at it, and so basically it's the fake it till you make it type of thing, and or at least fake it until everybody else believes you've made it. Uh, this is some really, really just terrible, terrible, terrible information, and so I thought I'd clear up the record of from my understanding of how the gift of tongues works. When you have the gift of tongues and you speak, whoever is supposed to hear that message will hear it in their own language, meaning if I am speaking in English and somebody else speaks French, that they will be able to hear that in French. That's traditionally how you look at the gift of tongues. Now, I'm going to put some clarifications on here that is going to maybe kind of blow your mind if you haven't ever thought about it. So, with the gift of tongues, basically what you end up having is if I'm speaking English and we have three people in the room, one speaks French, one speaks Russian, and one speaks Chinese, or Japanese or whatever. I don't know French. Anyway, three different languages, and the person who speaks French is supposed to hear my message, but the other two are not. So here's what's going to end up happening. The person who is speaking French is going to hear it in French. The person who speaks the other two people who speak other languages, all they are going to hear is jabbering because they aren't meant to hear the message. So therefore, what it does is it has a protection encryption, if you will, on it that makes it so that way the person who is not meant to receive the message will not receive the message. The next thing that you have to look at is being that we have a spirit. We have a spirit. That spirit is pre-Adamic, meaning that spirit has a language that is not going to be the same language that you speak. So therefore, if you are hearing a language and you have no real good recollection, understanding of it, something that you might consider is that maybe it's meant for your spirit, and you need to get in touch better with your own spirit so that way you have a better understanding. For instance, I have a good understanding of a language that is not anywhere even close to human. So therefore, when I hear it, I have a very good understanding of what's being said. But if somebody else were to hear it, all they'd hear is gibberish that doesn't make any sense at all to them. So therefore, sometimes you get that full on you're speaking in another language that you don't have any idea what you're saying, but something else does understand it. Something or someone else does completely understand it. So therefore, you have to look at that and say, well, I might be just hearing gibberish, but somebody else might be hearing something very clearly. You might also have angels in the room, and if you have an angel in the room that is supposed to get a message that you are giving out, they're going to understand 100% perfectly what is going to through there, and if you are not meant for that language, you are not going to understand what is being said. So I want that to be 100% clear when you are looking at speaking of tongues, that just because you do not understand it doesn't mean that it is not something factually happening. So when you look into this, it's really because it's got to have built-in protection systems for things and entities that are not meant to hear the message that is there, especially if you're talking about using a gift of the Holy Spirit that is supposed to give to people what they need to hear. And so it's just really one of those when you really start to break it down. The gift of tongues isn't about whether you can understand everything that's being said. It's about whether or not the person who is meant to receive the message can understand it. And sometimes that message is not for you, so, and you're not meant to hear it. So that's okay. And for all those people who believe fake it till you make it, I'm sorry, that just isn't how this works. Anyway, I hope that everybody's having a great day, and take care.